One ready? Ready, Aaron? All right. Welcome everyone here and also tuning in online. You're tuning in for the 47th annual NCAA Division III men's basketball tournament. These are the semifinals and final here in Fort Wayne, the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum. Beautiful spot. And our first team today, Swarthmore College. I can tell you a little bit about them. 28-3 this season. By the way, they're the home team tomorrow's game. 16-2 in the Centennial Conference. That was a tie for first. They were the champion of their tournament. And in the NCAA tournament thus far, they've beaten SUNY Delhi 93-64. They beat St. John Fisher 101-78. They beat Keene State 82-58. And they had that thrilling win over Nichols the other day, 78-77. You guys can tell us about that in a minute. This is their second national semifinal appearance. Previous was in 2019 when they also advanced to the championship game. The Garnet are riding a streak of 11 wins in their last 12 games, including the last 6 wins in a row. I got Coach Landry Kosmowski. Coach, you introduce your players if you want to, and make an opening comment, and then we'll take some questions.
Sure. Well, I'll let the guys introduce themselves first.
I'm Colin Shaw. I'm a senior.
My name is George Esconte. I'm also a senior.
I'm Vinny D'Angelo. I'm a junior.
Okay, Coach, opening comment.
Sure. Really excited to be here. First, a little down that we got the early slot, but ultimately I think this worked out for the better. It got us in earlier yesterday, and love the rest of the day to rest and look forward to the game tomorrow. So happy to be here.
Hey, Vinny, could you talk about the game the other day against Nichols? You know, there were a lot of timeouts, down the stretch like games are. How was the huddle? What was going on in the huddle? Because you guys were trailing, in every one of those huddles. What was the feel in those times?
So, through every game, we kind of split the game into 10 rounds, and that's how we try and stay present. It's just to focus on each possession, each round. I just remember, I think there were about like 6 or 7 minutes left, and we were down. I think it was 6 or 9 points, and Landry came into the huddle, and we had about a minute left in one of our rounds, and he was like, "Let's just win the rest of the round by 2." And that was sort of our mindset. Late game, just win each possession, and just sort of slowly chip away, keep doing what we were doing, and good things will happen.
Nice. George, you had 23 points in that game. What was working for you that night? What you were feeling pretty good, obviously. What was working for you?
Yeah, so Nichols played zone, and the word I used to describe it after the game initially was funky. It was a really different look. It had the presentation of zone, but then they would match up at times, so it was a bit weird to play against. And you could definitely tell we were a bit uncomfortable to start the game. I think we grew a little bit more comfortable as the game went on, but you could tell it was kind of just disrupting us for really the whole game. And then I was kind of tasked with playing kind of in the middle of the zone for that game, and they kind of left that area open a bit, and so I was able to kind of just find soft spots. And we have a really selfless team, and so Vinny, Colin, kind of the rest of the guards are kind of able to find me inside, and I guess I just had a good night. But you could tell from the whole season, we kind of probably have 5 guys that could score 20 on any given night, and I guess for whatever reason that night was I was that dude.
Hey, Colin. Yeah. So carry on with that thought. You have in your top 7, you have a real mix of seniors and freshmen and juniors. You have a real mix in that group. Talk about how that's gone through, helped the team through the season as you've grown, and gotten better as the season's gone.
Yeah, early on in the season, it's really incumbent on the older guys, the seniors and juniors, to kind of show the way, be good leaders for the guys that haven't had that experience. But once you get to this point in the season, everyone's kind of leading each other. Our freshmen have been really good about that, and we've just gotten better every day, and it's been great.
Yeah, Coach, talk about you were here a few years ago. Have you been able to kind of talk about what it means or how it feels when you walk into the Coliseum here and playing for a national semifinal?
Yeah, I think it definitely helps that there's some familiarity with just being in Fort Wayne, being here in the Coliseum. lessons learned from losing the national championship. So we feel a little more prepared, but ultimately it's, I think we're trying to do what everyone's doing, which is just avoid all the distractions and keep it within the court, stay focused on that.
Do you guys have any thoughts about your opponent? I mean, I know you're playing everybody now. There's terrific teams, but any thoughts? You've done some scouting on Christopher Newport.
One thing our coaching staff kind of reminds us as we enter the NCAA tournament is, as you kind of progress through this, the next team you play will be the best team you play all year, just because, everyone else is playing their best basketball and everyone else is making, a really solid run. And obviously Christopher Newport's a really talented program with a great coaching staff. So, we expect it to be a really good and, hard-fought game.
Hey, Vinny, can you talk about the crowd support you had, in those 4 games at home, and maybe how you think that's going to carry out here to Fort Wayne, and what kind of crowd's going to be here for you?
Yeah, the community really showed out back in Swarthmore for pretty much all 4 of our games. The student body was on spring break, and we were still able to get, a really good crowd at each game. A couple of them were sold out, and it's been really cool, just be on campus and have that support. And I'm sure, it's going to continue up until Thursday and hopefully Saturday.
Colin, how was practice yesterday?
Yeah, I thought it was a good practice. We came out and just kind of practiced the way that we always do. A lot about, trying to do our best to stop a really good team, but, also focusing on the details and the things that make us really good. So, really good energy, and we like where we are right now.
Nice. Anybody, I'm dominating the floor right now. That's all right. Coach, you were here, like I said, you've been here before. Is there something you were going to do differently this time around? Is there a lesson learned from 2019?
Most lessons learned from the loss in the national championship then were more like for me as a coach or our coaching staff, just kind of mentality and how to prepare for it. I think the guys, they're going to do all the same stuff. It's really just limiting the distractions and make sure we're focused on doing what we've done the whole year and not deviating because we're in a different city or different arena. We're just going to keep doing what we do.
I was fascinated with that game the other night because, and anybody can take this, because you had to make every play. And if you don't make one of those plays, you're not sitting here today. So just talk about, looking back on that, what was really going on there? What was the difference in getting past Nichols? Anybody jump in there? Go ahead, Coach.
I would say I think Nichols was better than us for like 90% of the game. But we just, kind of refused to go away and just kept finding ways to make plays, get stops, make shots. So, you just kind of fight till the end and hope you have enough, and we did. We didn't take the lead till the last 5 seconds, but it was enough. So, again, as Vinny said, we just tried to take it play by play. And, again, to Nichols' credit, they had us scrambling the whole game. I mean, we couldn't. Every time out was like, let's try something else, because that didn't work. So they're a really difficult team to play, and we definitely got better from the competition against them.
Yeah, you got to feel like, though, playing in a game like that's going to help you the next game. Is that fair?
I think so. I mean, I think we as coaches all know that, any adversity makes you stronger. So, yeah, getting through that, knowing we can do it, adds confidence, and also kind of a good reminder, like, hey, we don't want to just wait till the end and hopefully get lucky, but, like, let's do it from the start, from the tap.
Nice. Yes.
Coach, you were out of timeouts.
Yep.
All right. So how does your preparation take care of you in those last 30 seconds when they have fouls with you and you're having to attack different situations at the end of the game? How does that translate?
Yeah, I'd say 5 years ago as a coach, I wouldn't have been prepared for that stuff, but now you kind of prepare for everything, even if it seems like you're never going to use it. So, for instance, the out-of-bounds play we ran at the very end, we've never run it this year. We had just kind of put it in on Wednesday, said, hey, if we need something, that they might not know. So that was kind of, I told my wife later, it was almost like I got some premonition. Wednesday I was like, let's just try this and do this today. So that was really just lucky. But you do try to be prepared, and they were they had fouls to give, so what we tried to do was get it to Vinny on the sideline, like get it to him where he was in a shooting position, and then they didn't foul, and he drove and got fouled. So having that play in that situation is big, which again, I don't think we've used that play. We used it twice that game, but maybe one other time the whole year. So just kind of being ready for desperate situations.
So then that last play, that last baseline on top play, you call it Vinny, does it come from the bench?
It was the coach's call.
Actually, looking at the film, I felt a little bad. I was like halfway on the court giving instructions. It felt like a timeout to me. I wasn't really in my right mind, but the officials were talking about something, so we used it for a 2-second huddle.
Any thoughts on your opponent? I'm not any building board. I'm just saying, any
Yeah.
thoughts on Christopher Newport?
Yeah, great team. I mean, John's a terrific coach. They're very physically tough, talented, long. We feel like we've, over the last few days, really put the game plan together where it's just where we want it. But as every coach in the room knows, like that may change in the first 5 minutes of the game. We may have to scramble and adjust. So we're ready for anything.
Guys, any closing thoughts? Ready to go? All right. Anybody else? Thank you, coaches and players.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good job. Good job. Good job, boss. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for the question. That was good. That's one got us over the top. Oh, I just I had stuff, and I was like,